So, my ex-coworker used to be a good friend of mine. I met her when I got a job here about 3 years ago, and we hit it off. We were extremely close friends, and I had misplaced trust in her. One thing she liked to do was take photos of us together and post them on Snapchat and Facebook. I never thought much of this and thought she was just sharing what we did as a normal person would do. I was wrong. About a month ago a man randomly reached out to me. He claimed he was my girlfriend's brother and that he had finally tracked me down. Through a long back and forth it turns out that my coworker has been pretending to her family and friends back in her hometown that I was her boyfriend. She had the second Facebook with her original name on it and had constructed a weird narrative in which I was her boyfriend. She claimed I was old-fashioned and didn't use social media to cover up her lie. This is freaking creepy, right? I documented and archived everything and corrected the record with her brother before reporting this all to HR. I didn't feel like confronting her, I honestly didn't feel like talking to her at all, and distanced myself immediately. She picked up on this quickly and started to post on her second Facebook that I had broken up with her. HR immediately transferred me away from her and kept us apart at all times. I'm guessing they told her what was going on as her Facebook disappeared overnight and she began avoiding me like the plague. It was too late though, as this Monday she was fired for inappropriate behavior. From what HR and others have told me, she will never be working in the field again. HR has kept this as quiet as possible and has not leaked any details to anyone. The only thing my other coworkers know is that another coworker reported her for misconduct out of work and she got fired. Most of them are angry about this. The current opinion is that whoever did this is a spineless idiot who just ruined a girl's career for nothing. I'm never going to come out about this and have asked HR to never mention me because of this. So, am I the idiot here? I feel what she did was wrong and she deserved it, but am I wrong? Not the idiot. Oh wow. This is incredibly creepy and honestly, she brought this on herself. There's likely some mental illness going on here, but you still have every right to feel safe at work. You have no way of knowing if she would escalate over time or do something that would result in legal actions against you. You had every right to protect yourself and act the way you have. This is a major reason why HR is there. You're a victim in this, and you should treat yourself kindly. Go do something you enjoy that's relaxing. Not the idiot. I can only imagine the blow up if some dude did this with a girl coworker. I dunno, this girl pretty well betrayed your trust and put you out there without your knowledge or consent, and that could have led to some nasty stuff if she decided to take this fantasy any further and lie about what was happening there. I don't think the girl had any bad intentions from it. But the road to hell is paved with good intentions and she just straight up lied to you for years. How are you supposed to trust her? Not the idiot. The thing is, if we assume that this girl didn't deserve to be fired, then the blame for that is on HR, not on you. All you need to worry about is this. Is her behavior out of line, and am I entitled to the use of whatever methods I can, including reporting her to HR, to make her stop? I think we can all agree that the answer to that is yes, and everything that happens afterward, you can wash your hands off. You don't have to suffer on behalf of other people's wrongdoings, and being made into someone else's fake so without your permission is a form of suffering. I am 17, suffered a major accident while cycling when I was 13. I have 2 really deep long facial scars. I have been bullied really bad because of it. I am tall, ugly, and intimidating as per most girls. People make fun of other people by saying things like, "Why don't you just hook up with my name?" I am honestly used to it. Those people didn't matter to me anyway. But there is this girl I had known since middle school. Let's call her back, I guess. Sorry, I honestly don't know how this works. I had a really big crush on her till a few days ago. I thought she was genuinely sweet and amazing. My family is incredibly supportive, so they urged me to ask her out. I can play guitar, so I made this whole song for her. I went to the neighboring city to get her favorite chocolate and stuff like that. This was the first time I felt like really going and asking someone out in my life, and I felt that regardless of what I do, she shall see me for who I am and at least accept me as a friend. I was over the moon when she ended up accepting. We went to a fancy restaurant, had a fun time together and walked for 30 minutes. She was really sweet to me. The next week or so was honestly heaven. People started noticing me, even her friends seemed friendly with me. I honestly cried every day because I felt so fortunate to get so much love. It all broke down when a friend of hers, who was on Instagram and followed Beck, sent screenshots to me. I honestly felt betrayed and disgusted. She had posts saying fulfilled his lifelong wish by being his Valentine's, making his day by finally helping him interact with my friends, he is ugly, but beautiful people accept ugly people matter, etc. Beck's friend then explained me that she apparently wanted a good social media image and had thus asked all her friends to be kind to me and tolerate me till the first week of March and then distance themselves from me. She apparently wanted to win some stupid positive role model award for her college application because she was lagging behind in community service. And thought playing with my feelings for a few days wouldn't hurt, and apparently, since I was ugly, she was the kind one to give me attention anyway. I was in tears and honestly felt disgusted. My blood was boiling. I researched about this award, found a Facebook page about it online. I went to the authorities to confirm if her name was on the nominations list and then had my friends at work and family as an alibi. She is apparently crying a lot because she received a message from the committee saying her nomination was withdrawn. I am now even more ostracized in school, but honestly, I have no remorse whatsoever and feel far more satisfied. Not the idiot. You're most definitely not the idiot, and I am very sorry that you're dealing with this. It probably doesn't help a lot now, but as you get older, you will find that girls or women put a lot less stock into looks and a lot more emphasis on things like being kind, trustworthy, respectful, and funny. Teenage girls are notoriously shallow. Also, you will very likely love college if you decide to attend. It was so much better than high school for me. Not the idiot. You literally did absolutely nothing wrong. She used you to manipulate people's view of her and falsely win an award and earn credit. Honestly, it feels like the crap popular girl you'd see exaggerated in a movie. She deserves what's happened. You are a strong, brave, and inspiring person who is actually a decent human being, and more people should be like you. You didn't seek to embarrass her or insult her or call her out publicly. You merely righted a wrong. I'm sure plenty of other people wouldn't have handled the situation as rationally as you did. Wait, was she actually in any position to win the award? They don't give role model awards for someone mentioning they went a date with the ugly person. If you're trying to say she was being seriously considered for an award because of her kind deed of dating an ugly person, then I have to call crap on the whole scenario. No organization of any type would take her seriously when she says things like beautiful people accept ugly people and expects an award for it. So either you didn't stop her from winning, or this is just complete fiction. I have been working as a legal assistant with a law firm for just over 6 years and walked off the job yesterday in a fit of a rage. For these 6 years, it has been a wonderful relationship. My employer is a solo practitioner, and I was his first and only legal assistant until yesterday's events. My employer recently hired a new associate who took it upon herself to treat me like absolute crap. As a legal assistant, my duties are legal related, editing and drafting documents, calendar management, processing client payments, filing documents at court, phone coverage, etc. However, the new associate assigned me her personal duties, grocery shopping, driving across town in traffic to buy her favorite chocolates, making returns to clothing stores, driving to her house to let maintenance technicians in, etc. She yelled at me a lot. I would get panic attacks and dreaded coming into work. I would have no problem performing these duties if I was a personal assistant, but I am a legal assistant, and my objective is to ensure everyone in my firm has their legal responsibilities in order. At first, I obliged, seeing as she was new, and I figured my employer would have a word with her. This went on for 2 months, and every day I grew that much more resentful. Finally, I had a private meeting with my supervisor a few weeks ago and even typed up a note detailing my frustrations and how I am being taken advantage of. He promised me he would speak with her, but her demands continued. Yesterday was the last straw. While working at my desk, I overheard her talking about me to our receptionist. She wasn't exactly pleasant, stating how I'm not up to par with her standards and how she spoke to my boss about me. She was telling our receptionist how much they pay me and said she wants to lower my pay. My blood started boiling and I could feel myself about to lose my crap. I have no idea what came over me, but I walked over to our filing cabinet, pulled out all of our folders, and dumped all of their contents to the floor. I imagine it was about 40 or 50 clients worth of papers. I then grabbed my things and walked out of the office before telling the associate, "Go back yourself, you stupid idiot." She was absolutely shocked. On my home, I was seething. Still pissed off when I got home, I texted my boss saying I will not be returning to work Monday and that he'll have to find himself another assistant. Both she and she have tried calling, texting, and emailing me, but I haven't responded except for one text where I sent her the middle finger emoji. This morning I felt a twinge of guilt as I know it was her that made me miserable and not him, but then again, there was no loyalty there. Screw you, Sweta, I hate you. Not the idiot, not in the least. What the hell, Reddit? If you bully someone till they snap, you don't get to claim moral high ground when they lose their crap and leave in a rage. This is not an everyone's the idiot here, or you are the idiot. She made a job you enjoyed hostile and toxic, and now has to deal with the fallout from being a stupid idiot. I wouldn't ghost your boss though, you should hear him out and say your piece. Otherwise, she gets the last word and gets to act like the victim when really she should be on super thin ice after forcing a long-term employee to rage quit. Everyone's the idiot here. You shouldn't have quit like that, but I'm sure it was beyond satisfying. That associate should be fired for disclosing your salary and taking advantage of company time and employees to fulfill personal needs. You should have talked to your boss and said you don't want to work with her anymore and said you would seek other employment if this continued. But I would answer my boss's call and tell him what went on, especially the discussing your salary with other employees and what she said about you. Everyone's the idiot here. Yeah, that new associate was an idiot, but it doesn't seem you exhausted any resources at all with the other boss. You only went to talk about it once, from your post, and then got fed up and quit raging. After 6 years of employment. It's also pretty clear your boss got the idea you were fine with those duties, and he probably has no idea why you left so suddenly. I mean, bosses are usually pretty much isolated from office gossip because they're bosses. So for a bit of context, my girlfriend has claimed to be sick for the past couple of days, but that hasn't stopped her from going out with friends or work. In the morning I began cleaning both our bathrooms and the kitchen and asked if my girlfriend would help. She declined because she was sick. I was fine with this and continued on my way. After I just finished mopping, the tap in our laundry broke and wouldn't turn off. I could tell it was just a washer that needed replacing, but because it was more of a drizzle instead of a drip, I turned the water and started to replace it. We recently moved into this apartment and I wasn't familiar with the plumbing in the laundry, so it took me a while to figure out how to get the tap off and replace the washer. While this was happening, my girlfriend was questioning my ability to change the washer, even though I'd done it tons of times at my old place. I was becoming irritated at this, and she kept nudging me to get a plumber to do it on a Sunday. I kept telling her once I got the tap off it will be a simple job, but she wouldn't stop pestering me about it. Anyway, I fixed a tap without a plumber and went to sit down. So half the day is gone, I have assignments to do for unit, and I only just sat down for the first time today when she began asking me to do all these other trivial things that didn't need to be completed right now. I was kinda ignoring her because I just want to rest for 10 minutes before I finally snapped and told her to shut up. She stormed out of the room and went to the bedroom. A few moments later I hear beeping from my Wi-Fi speaker and thought she must have confused it with the one that is in the bedroom. Although she pumped it to max volume and played the chorus to Lily Allen's "F.U." This just pissed me off even more. She came out of the room and started talking to me, and I told her I didn't want to talk and to leave me alone. She started asking me what was wrong and that it was only just a song, but I really did not want to talk to her at this time. She would not leave me alone. I constantly told her I didn't want to talk. I changed seats and rooms, but she wouldn't leave me alone. She just kept asking what's wrong, what did I do? I was ready to leave the apartment just to get some peace, and she only stopped once I put my shoes on and got my keys. She asked me about 100 times what's wrong, and I told her each time I don't want to talk and to leave me alone. As a result, I didn't want to go with her to her mother's house for dinner as she just kept pushing and pushing me over the edge. I wanted some time to myself and relax since she wouldn't give it to me. Now she's super angry at me for not going, saying everything is my fault. Her mother is texting me complaining about a $5 pizza she brought me for dinner that no one wants, and I'm just over this day. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here. It seems like you need to learn basic communication skills. I understand it was annoying she wouldn't leave you alone and followed you around your home, but you did just blow up at her. Personally, I hate it when a significant other tells me to shut up. That's not how you talk to a partner, even when you're angry. In my opinion, it sounds like you two both need to grow up and learn how to act like you're in a relationship based on mutual respect, which comes from being able to clearly and calmly articulate feelings. Everyone's the idiot here. She sounds fairly ungrateful for the work you do around your place, but you're terrible at communicating. Everyone on Reddit is constantly harping on women for saying nothing when their partners ask what's wrong, but you basically did the same thing. When she first started asking you to do extra chores, you could have explained that you'd already cleaned multiple rooms and you had assignments to do now. If she still harped on you, you could have explained that you were getting frustrated for being asked to do unnecessary things when she hadn't helped clean. Sorry if this is a bit confusing. My daughter, 9, is an awesome kid. We don't have a ton of money, but the one thing she's always wanted to do is ride horses. So we recently started riding lessons. We've been to a few places and I thought we'd found a good fit for her. I set everything up at this new place, but her lessons on are a day that I typically work, so my husband takes her. My daughter really likes this place, but it's a bit pricey. I pay for private lessons as my girl, like me, can be shy, and I wanted her to have someone on one time with a horse and instructor. We pay for an hour lesson. At the first lesson, my husband sent me some pictures and there was another child there during the lesson. I didn't really question it, they were at the barn for over 2 hours and my daughter seemed to enjoy it. This went on for a few weeks. A couple weeks ago, I just so happened to get a day off on lesson day, so I took her. Long story short, the instructor had asked from the beginning that we arrive 15 minutes early, so we did. When it's time to tack up and ride, my daughter joins another child, the same child from the pictures before, and they tack up together. We go to the arena and my daughter and I sit and watch the other child's lesson for an hour. At this point, it's an hour and 15 minutes past our original lesson time. I ask the instructor if our lesson will begin soon. She assures me that it will, that they often run 30 minutes behind. I kindly point out that we'd been there for an hour and a half and the lesson had yet to begin aside from tacking up. Our lesson started shortly after. Turns out this is why they're at the barn for an extra hour. This happens every week. I suggest to the instructor that maybe we should arrive at 11:30 rather and 10:45 so we aren't waiting for the previous lesson to finish. She agrees. The next week, my husband is there at 11:30 and the instructor made a comment about them being late. Okay, maybe she forgot about what we discussed. He let it go. When they get home, my daughter tells me that this time they had a lesson with the same child as before and another child. All at the same time. So here's the thing. I pay $25 extra for a private lesson versus a group lesson. Their website states that a group lesson includes 2 or more children. The first few lessons where they tacked up together but didn't ride together wasn't technically a group lesson, but I feel like this last one was, with 3 children together. Am I the idiot if I ask to pay the group rate instead of the private rate? My daughter was fine with the group lesson so that's fine, but I feel we should pay accordingly. My husband thinks I should just let it go because our daughter is having fun and clearly enjoying it. I don't want to be cheap, but at the same time, I don't want to pay for something we're not getting. I already feel like an idiot for saying something about the lesson starting over an hour late, and I'm generally very non-confrontational, but I could really use the extra money we'd be saving. Not the idiot. You're paying for a private lesson, that means one-on-one. If the instructor has multiple pupils along with your daughter, that is a group lesson, and she is overcharging you. If your daughter is fine with the group lessons, that's great, but you shouldn't be paying extra for something you're not getting. Instead of bringing it up and making a fuss, just tell the instructor that you're switching from private to group. That way, there'll be less drama. Not the idiot. I have only recently started having adult riding lessons, and it's the reverse for me. At the end of the day, it is your hard-earned money, and if your daughter is feeling better and more comfortable now in a small group, then you should be paying accordingly. Horse riding is not cheap. I'd understand if the extra hour was to help in the stable or taking tack off or feeding or something, as these out-of-saddle lessons are also important so a student learns about caring for the horse and proper horsemanship as well as riding.